Good day to the world. Good day to everybody. I'm just an African child, and I want to tell the world, we are in crisis. We are in a world of crisis, and I am confused because we have old peoples who don't think about the future. Why do I say so? If you look at Russia, the president is old. If you look at America, the president is old. And if you look at NATO General Secretary, he's also old, Stoltenberg. Putin, Stoltenberg, and Biden. But what I'm surprised is Joe Biden. He's disappointed to the youth. He's a disappointed man to America. Currently, Americans are massing up the young, energetic people who should be focused on building America to become strong. He's pushing them to Poland border. Whilst we have European soldiers, they cannot march their soldiers to Poland border. But it's Joe Biden who's marching his Americans to the Poland border. It's sad. It's sad that we can't think about peace. It's sad that our very existence is being threatened by the very country who says he's the world police. I mean United States of America. Why do I say so? I'm from Africa. I know what happened in Libya. And up to now, we don't have peace in Libya. Is that what Americans want? Look at Iraq. Is that what Americans want? And I'm telling Joe Biden, just remember, America, we have only 300 million or over 300 million people. We have only over 300 million people. China is now focused on building its superpower, influencing in Africa, whilst USA is threatening to bring war in Europe. Ukraine war is preventable, and I'm still saying that it's preventable. And no one should tell me that Ukraine is going to win in the battlefield. It's a tragedy. A tragedy. Why do I say it's a tragedy? Because if you look at the number of soldiers, the number of Ukrainians, their cities that have been destroyed, you don't tell me that Ukraine is winning. The fight is happening in Ukraine. So each weapons we are sending in Ukraine is to destroy buildings, is to destroy the Ukrainian cities. Why can't we sit down? Joe Biden, you are an old man. You are old enough to know that your kids, your children, your grandchildren, you not send them to the front line to fight. No, you rather protect them. You wouldn't like them to die. If you cherish death, why don't you take the weapon and go and fight your own? I'm tired. I'm tired of this world. And Putin is mobilizing young people to also go and fight. All these people are going to, either they will die or they will come back. Do we need this at this time of the world? We don't need. This is unnecessary fight. So Joe Biden, please protect Americans, protect American soldiers. We don't need this unnecessary war. We are in the nuclear weapon era. And I'm also disappointed with the Western media, BBC, CNN, DW Euro News. They're all propaganda news. They don't support their citizens. They don't value life. They are there. Oh, Ukraine is fighting on a battlefield. Ukraine is winning on a battlefield. This all is nonsense. When every day one Ukrainian will die, maybe 3 or 5 Russians will die, you say they're winning on the battlefield. When cities have been destroyed, you say they're winning on the battlefield. When graves have been dug all over across Ukraine, you say they're winning on the battlefield. What kind of nonsense is that? Ukraine can only win on the battlefield when USA and the West stop sending weapons and sit Russia down to negotiate. No matter how long it will take, it's better to start negotiation now to save the lives of people, the lives of millions. Now, America is sending troops to Poland. West, UK too is involved. I'm afraid. Our very existence is in danger. I'm very, very afraid. Now, people are claiming that Russian weapons or missiles, hypersonic missiles, ballistic missiles are all finished or is very low to the minimum level. So now if war should happen, because I'm afraid, as it is going, as it is escalating, America and NATO is much involved in Ukraine. Nobody should tell me that they are not fighting. America and Ukraine are there. Their intelligence are there. They are training Russians. It is their weapons that Ukraine are using to fight. So basically, it is USA and NATO that is fighting against Russia, right? And now you hear that Iran is supplying Russian weapons. Now you hear that North Korea is supplying. So North Korea and Iran are also involved. I'm afraid very soon it will escalate. And looking at the level that they are saying that Russian weapons are, I'm afraid that this will be a nuclear weapons. Because if Russia don't have any weapons and NATO should involve, it will be a nuclear weapons. And I'm so sad with European citizens. People who say they know democracy. People say understand democracy. Democracy is by the people and for the people. And you are keeping quiet. And your leaders are putting you into war. And you can't demonstrate. You are not even more afraid of nuclear war. So that when I see professors, when I see think tanks on the Western media, so we have to support Ukraine, I tell they are disgrace. These academics in Western countries, they are a disgrace to Western democracy. You can't support a country by telling the country to go to war. No, you don't do that. Let's use diplomacy. No matter how it is, let's use diplomacy. Ukraine will not lose when we use diplomacy. Right? So please, Joe Biden, you are old enough. You have wisdom than the young ones. You are not supposed to involve in these petty wars. When millions of people are suffering, when thousands of Ukrainians are dying, can't you think of that? The Western media, can't you think of this? When I see BBC, CNN talking about battlefield, I say these people, never trust them. They are not telling the truth. They are independent media, but they don't tell truth to their citizens. They don't tell them, no, this war, a lot of Ukrainians are dying. This war, let's try and solve with diplomacy. But they try to manipulate, to do propaganda. Ukraine is winning on the battlefield. How can Ukraine win on the battlefield when thousands of Ukrainian soldiers are dying? Can't we understand? Can't we understand that Ukraine, their population is 40 million? Can't we understand that Russia, their population is 140 million? This don't take rocket science to understand. So please, European citizens, stand up and do demonstration. Nuclear war should never entertain in this world. Americans, stand up. Stand up. As for me, I'm in my Africa. When it comes, I will stay in my Africa. But I will tell Joe Biden the truth. He's a disgrace to Americans. He's a disgrace. One of the worst presidents who cannot manage conflict. I'm surprised that when Zelensky told them to send weapons, NATO ignorantly started selling weapons. They didn't even make any effort to sit down and talk to Putin. They should try. Joe Biden should even take telephone. Is this death necessary? How long will Ukraine fight to win? How long will Ukrainian life be protected? Or you don't understand war? Maybe NATO and their people, they don't understand war. Right? Russia is a single country. NATO, you are a lot of countries. And if war should start, you can't distract all this. When the chief policy of European Union is it, but I'm sorry, when you say Europe is heaven and the rest of the world is jungle. So if Russians should fight with NATO, you can see the number of destruction that will happen to Europe and the number of destruction that will happen to Russia. So who will lose? It is your heaven or your garden, the garden. Sorry, he said garden. It is your garden that will be destroyed. So please, Americans, the Western countries, Europeans and Americans, your citizens, it's time for you to stand up and do demonstration. It's time for you to stand up and do demonstration to stop this bloodshed. I hope Russians too are doing it.